Hello and welcome to Men Behind the Curtain, the podcast about everything and nothing all at once. I am Pitt.
I'm Eli. I hope y'all are doing well. If you're in Ohio, we had a great fucking day yesterday for the weather, and then today it's cold again. But it's Ohio. We knew this was going to happen.
And
It happens all
70
the
by
time.
Friday.
I saw that. So for those of y'all who, because I actually saw this on Threads yesterday. I typically only go on Threads either mostly to antagonize people. Shocker, I know. But I saw somebody yesterday who said like, "Oh, with this last winter, like, do you tree huggers still believe in global warming?" Bitch, it is not supposed to be 70 degrees in March, not in Ohio. Um, please stop.
No.
Please be smarter than this.
Well, not only is that one of my pet peeves, but another pet peeve of mine is when people say that the weather in Ohio is bipolar. They obviously don't understand what bipolar means. The weather in Ohio is borderline, not bipolar.
Fair enough. I make this argument all the time. Obviously, I have grown up here in this area. I remember when I was a kid, there was a layer of snow from about late October, early November, all the way up until about late March, early April. Like, it wasn't always a lot. It wasn't always enough to make a snow angel or build a snowman, but there was always a layer of snow. You did not see the grass until April. Like, that was just a constant. And now we have like one, maybe two heavy snowfalls per year. Um, that's it. And it's fucking gone. It's cold. It's 37 okay. It's 37 degrees out. It's colder. It's not cold. There's no fucking snow out there. Um,
Not yet.
they are
I mean,
talking about rain.
so my thing is this is what Ohio weather always does. There's always a warm up in February towards the tail end, beginning of March, and then there's always another blizzard in March, and then last half of April, it's nothing but torrential downpours through like the first week of May.
Which is when I'm going to start getting my roof is over there is going to leak. Um, although I have a plan. Is that Flex Seal shit that they talk about? I think I'm going to get a ladder so I can get up on my roof, and I'm just going to spray the roof with some of that Flex Seal. That might actually work. Um,
It
it,
might.
it the way that I'm looking at it is it might only work for a season or two, but
Well,
it if it works for a year to 2 years, then I feel like I've gotten my money's worth out of it, and it's okay
well,
if I do it again.
yeah. Well, try taking that sprayed canned insulation first and filling in those holes, and then do the Flex Seal.
I'm a little bit hesitant about the foam insulation stuff. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
I'm a little hesitant about that because if like a bug gets in there or if mold gets in it, I have to rip the whole fucking thing out, and then it becomes a really expensive venture. So I'm while the foam would work and probably would work really well, it could also get really really bad at the
Well,
same
I'm
time.
saying put the foam down, then do the Flex Seal. Plug in all your holes.
Yeah, well, I'm also partially thinking about like the foam like for my walls too.
Just
But
use rolled insulation for that.
that's what I was planning on doing. I kept thinking I'm gonna hire a contractor to come out here and finish all this, and maybe not. Because honestly, the only thing that I really need is a saw so I can get around like the wall outlets. Other than that, it's all I have to do is put wall up in place and nail it. That's all I got to do. Um,
Don't use a saw. Use a router.
so I don't even have a fucking clue what you're talking what that would be.
It's a
So I got
little cylindrical looking thing that has a bit on the end that goes really, really fast. You just
oh
around the box and then the drywall, and then it just slides right into place.
okay no okay I know what you're talking about. I've seen it. I didn't know that's actually what it's called. As you can tell, I don't have a lot of tools in my house.
Yeah, well, the wife has a shit ton that she's gotten for like birthdays and Christmases. Um, always have her come over and do it.
Yeah, the only thing that I have been told not to do is like the drywall that I have back here. I've been told not to use that because drywall will crack because it doesn't expand and contract with the seasons. I have been told that paneling, which is what I have over here, is better. Like it'll have more flexibility with the seasons. So I've been told that paneling is better than drywall. So I might do that. The paneling might cost a little bit more, but if the
I
advice
don't
I've
know.
been given,
It's like a tiny house. I mean, they put drywall in houses.
true, but a house has insulation and like actual HVAC heating and cooling where I don't. So, eh, we'll figure it out. I'm. It also is going to come down to it'll be a matter of cost. Um, I actually might not care about cracks. I mean, first of all, this is not cracking back here. This is fine. And honestly, even if it does, who's going to see it but me? Like,
And are the rest of our viewing audience if they like zoom in?
I mean, maybe, but I mean, look, as far as our viewing audience goes, if you have a problem with how it looks, fuck you, pay me. Then I'll fix it.
I mean,
Um,
I'm in like a tent, so
Honestly, that's doesn't look like a bad arrangement if I'm being honest. Like the way
it's
I've got
not.
the way I have my blankets over here is like a makeshift wall. I've thought about putting other ones up to make it like a smaller space to heat and cool. Honestly, this works. Um, like if I had this running for like an hour, 2 hours, my space heater for well, y'all can't see what I'm motioning to off camera, but if I have it run for like an hour, 2 hours, something like that, there's a huge difference on this side of the blanket than on the other side. So it does work. So the tent is actually not a bad idea at all, honestly. Um, so I guess there's not a whole lot to go on with this week. I don't even think we need to spend any time talking about our cunt of the week. We know who it is. We know why it is. So fuck them. Like,
Current.
yeah, I don't see that we really need to spend any time. Yes, the thing happened. I don't know. From where I live, you never know. The sun might come out at 3 in the morning, and that'll just be it.
Yep. By the way, because I'm not distracted by it, release the Epstein files.
Yes. Um, you know what's fucking crazy about that? And actually, we can spend a little bit of time talking about that because Clinton testified over this past week,
Yeah.
which I think both Clintons did, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Um,
Of course, it was behind closed doors, but yes.
but I really, I really need, in the off chance that any conservatives are listening to this, I need logical consistency. So when Bill Clinton says that he didn't do anything and you call him a liar, that's fine. I'm okay with that because I wouldn't be surprised if he's lying as well. However, if he is lying about that, then you can't decide he's telling the truth if he says, I have no knowledge of Trump doing anything. If he's lying here, then he's lying here. You don't get to choose. And second of all, even if he's telling the truth when he says, I have no knowledge, that doesn't mean it didn't happen. I have no knowledge of what y'all are doing as you watch this video or listen. That doesn't mean you're doing nothing. Lack of knowledge is not proof of shit. I need y'all to
Right.
understand that. Um, but it's so crazy the moving of the goalposts that they keep doing, where uh, whether or not Clinton's telling the truth, fuck them. We don't have loyalty to Clinton. We never did. I don't give a fuck.
I don't care. We actually need to start rounding up people who actually have done bad shit and fucking
Yeah,
dealing with it. Other countries are doing it, but we're too fucking pussy, too much of a pussies to actually do anything because we're afraid it's going to upset status quo. It's going to throw things off. You know what? Throw it off. Upset the status quo.
I
Prosecute
am
fuckers.
I am jealous of other countries right now that are making arrests and doing investigations. As I said last week, the former Prince Andrew, because he is no longer a prince anymore. I don't know if he was stripped of his title or if he abdicated or whatever the case is. He ain't a prince no more. They arrested him on something else entirely, but he is at least still facing some kind of accountability. I don't think that we're asking too much for that. Like, arrest one fucking person. And again, this is weeks old at this moment, but
Yeah.
like when they had Pam Bondi in there, when he said, "Have you investigated or arrested one person?" She dodged that question like a fucking agent in the Matrix. Well, actually, no, I take that back because they dodge a lot more stylistically. It looks cool when they do it. She just flailed about the Dow. um, Speaking of which, there's a video I'm gonna have to attach here. They made a song about it. Did you hear about this?
No, I haven't.
They made a fucking song. It's like, but the Dow is over 50,000. Like, what the fuck? It's wild. And sometimes it was just it's one of those things that you need to find something to laugh at because what else can you do? Um, which also we've taken a dive. It's now last I heard under 49. So like, thanks for that. Thanks for that, Pam.
Yeah, it doesn't. That 50,000 doesn't hold up anymore.
um, so I again there it's been a little bit slow this past week, but one thing that would happen with some entertainment news, I didn't even know that the Daily Wire made movies. I didn't even know that until this week. Have you heard that before?
No, and it's the Daily Wire, so I'm not exactly sure on the types of movies they make or if I'm even interested.
Oh, I'm absolutely not interested. And apparently, from one post that I read, this was an opinionated post. Apparently, they always lose revenue on their movies, and the movie really just serves as the long form advertising for the Daily Wire, which kind of makes sense, but it kind of doesn't. Because, I mean, if it's all that, you could just put ads on fucking Spotify or something. Like, I think that would be a cheaper way to advertise your platform. But
So
fuck it.
it's kind of like how Microsoft Bing wanted
Yeah,
to get out there and compete with Google, so they bought time with certain shows. Hawaii Five O
yeah.
for one of them, and Scott Kahn's character goes like, "Well, just Bing it," and it's like, dude, I can't watch this show anymore. Fuck it.
I remember that. You know, one of my favorite examples with that is they said they were talking about with advertising, and they mentioned like, you know how you can tell when somebody's doing well. When is the last time you've seen a Coke or Pepsi commercial? And it actually has been a very long time since I've seen it. Um, I have never, ever in my life seen a commercial for Fago, but it's in every fucking store you ever walk into.
That's because people like us, that's all we can afford.
Honestly, I mean, in the rare occasion that I even drink pop anymore, fuck y'all, it's pop. Kiss my ass. um, in the rare occasion that I actually drink it, like Fago is actually pretty good. Like I remember I love their cream soda flavor. Like it was fucking great. The orange ain't bad. You know, like the strawberry or whatever the red ones that they have are, they're good. And they don't cost that much. So, and of course, while we're talking about that, I'm just going to give a random shout out. You know, uh, Arizona Tea, y'all managed to stay 99 cents like for life. So, hey,
I think that, and the thing is I think the CEO um has stated it's always going to be 99 cents.
mm-hmm, yeah, yeah, he has actually mentioned that. Um, but you know, I went way off topic with that. So the reason that we were talking about the Daily Wire and movies, so apparently Jonathan Majors um, is doing a movie for Ben Shapiro and The Wire, which I don't know what it's about. I am not going to see it. Um, that's just throwing in the fucking towel. His career is done. Like, and if you sign on to a movie with Ben Shapiro, you know your career is done. So,
Well, the only way that might be the only way Jonathan Majors is going to get any type of role, unless he's doing a Harvey Weinstein film directed by Roman Polanski.
Jesus Christ. um, you know what that made me think of though? I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on this, like on one of our episodes before, but if you are a millennial, if you're older than a millennial, but you watched, certain TV shows in the 90s, you'll remember Xena and Hercules. Well, Kevin Sorbo has, turned into quite the piece of shit in recent years. He's went hardline conservative, which has been really really funny because people like to point out his role in Meet the Spartans, which was a spoof of 300, and you might remember that it uh, hot fives for the women, open mouth kisses for the men, and he happened to kiss Kevin Sorbo on the mouth.
Yep.
But where I was going with it though, a perfect representation of the trajectory of careers. So you, as I said, if you know who Kevin Sorbo is, you remember that he did Hercules. That's probably what he's always going to be famous for is Hercules. Because let's be honest, have you seen anything else that he's done other than Meet the Spartans? I can't name a single fucking thing that he's done. Well, I can name one other thing that he's done, which is where I'm going with this. So you remember one of The Rock's early movies, Walking Tall, where he played a sheriff in like a small town?
Yeah.
Uh, did you know that they made a sequel to this?
No.
It was a straight to DVD sequel. They recasted the character with Kevin Sorbo.
Oh shit.
but but also remember that The Rock did a movie for Hercules. So, which was actually reasonably successful. Um, honestly, I
Wasn't
liked.
bad.
It wasn't a bad movie, and I actually one of the things that I liked about it is that so his friend in the TV show it was Aeolus, in the movie it was Aeolus, which is probably more accurate to how it was pronounced. Um, Aeolus was a bard who was telling stories about Hercules and his deeds and his accomplishments, and Aeolus is the one who created the idea of him being a demigod, which actually I think it 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 works perfectly for the character that you oversell his stories and like who could a mortal man couldn't do all this, it had to be a demigod. I like the twist that they did on it. But anyway, where I was going with it, I like how The Rock and Kevin Sorbo switched roles, but it's also a perfect graph, if you will, of their career trajectories, because that's when The Rock stock was going up and up, while Kevin Sorbo, like, you took a straight to DVD movie that I didn't even fucking hear about until like 12, 13 years after the fact. So,
Well,
um,
I did have two things that Kevin Sorbo was in, other than
oh, yeah,
yeah. So he was in Andromeda, which was about 4 or 5
I,
seasons, which is actually real fucked up. It was actually created by Gene Roddenberry, so that
I
goes against
forgot about that.
everything. And then there was Crawl the Conqueror.
Oh, yeah,
Did really
I, f-
horrible.
I forgot about both of those projects. Krull, I've only really heard about it when people are shitting on like this is among like some of the worst projects and stuff like that. That's where I hear about Krull. Andromeda,
Yes,
I actually completely forgot about, and I never watched it, but I mean, it seemed reasonably popular, like from what I've heard.
I'll be honest. It wasn't a bad show. What made it not worth watching was Kevin Sorbo's acting.
I can actually believe that, and like his acting in Hercules was fine because you have to take into account the type of show that it was. It was intentionally cheesy. It was a little cringe, a little tongue in cheek, and it was fine. But I'm going to be honest, I was never a big Hercules fan. I was watching Xena, and I was watching Xena at like 13, 14 years old. So while the stories were entertaining, I was entertained for a very different reason.
I think all straight young men were very entertained for the same reasons that you and I were entertained.
I actually know one person. In the off chance that she happens to watch this, shout out Aaliyah. This is how that was how she found out that she also liked girls. Was that show?
I'm pretty sure that's how my wife found out too, but I'll let her speak to that at some other point.
I mean, hey, it's not the worst way to find out. I know that much.
I mean,
But
I'd like to get him in a pile.
I have always been a little bit curious because the show was made in. It was filmed in New Zealand, but I believe it was technically made in Canada, something like that. I think. Um, and I've always wondered if there is a different version of the show than what we got here in the States. Because, and we've talked about this before, the US, our sexual maturity as a country, as a society, we are 12 fucking years old. The rest of the country doesn't freak out so much about boobs. So I always wonder if there's another version of the show out there.
It'd be great. Just to even know if there's like a more adult rated version. But the thing is I and this goes over a lot of people's heads, like the relationship that Xena and Gabriella had. It was it was more than friendship, people. It was more than friendship. There was a and whether it was a plutonic love, they still loved each other to no end, to the point that you would get in most of these movies out there where it's like, this person will do anything for that person's love and they come together and they're in each other's arms. They had that type of love for each other, but the thing is because of the way that world was, think about it, we're never able to come together and be as they were wanted to be.
I remember there were a couple of episodes where they hinted that it was more because like there was one episode where Aeolus, the I don't remember the actor's name. I want to say Michael something, but I'm not sure. But the blonde dude.
Yeah,
So we know those shows they like to recycle their actors. Carl Urban played both Cupid and Caesar.
Aries.
Julie,
No,
sorry,
yeah, Caesar. Yeah, Caesar.
yeah. Um, they would like to recycle some of their actors. Um, so there's one. It was a very tongue in cheek episode. It was a very meta episode, if you will, before the term meta was even a thing. He is playing like an actual TV reporter and interviewing each of the characters. There's one scene that was really funny because he's getting on Ares' nerves, and Ares like just generates a ball of lightning in his hand. He said, "Don't make me zap you," because he was just getting on his fucking nerves. But he asked Xena and Gabrielle about the nature of their relationship, and the feed got really fucking choppy right at that moment as she's answering the question. So they were intentionally very ambiguous about the relationship. There's another one where Gabrielle was somehow inhabiting a man's body. I don't remember how, but like, so as she's inhabiting a man's body, her and Xena actually shared a kiss, like a mouth to mouth kiss. So yeah, they they did love each other to death. They were absolutely best friends. Um, Honestly, I think that we need to have more depictions like that. And what I mean by that, not necessarily the romantic aspect of it, but the way that they were there for each other in very, very fucking dark moments. Like sometimes you need that person that pulls you out. They were that for each other. And
Yep.
you don't really see that in a lot of media nowadays.
No.
Um, the only time that they have a connection that deep, it always has to be a romantic relationship, which is fine sometimes, but it's not a requirement. So I actually would like if we could get back to more characters along those lines. Um, but yeah, there was some. I have a feeling that what it was is like they were best friends, like absolute best friends, inseparable. But there were nights that they got horny. Like
Well,
that's my
there was a
takeaway.
yeah, there was a lot of promiscuity on the show between like all the characters. But it was an entertaining show. Surprisingly, it was well written for the type
That
of genre it was.
that was actually how I got into a lot of Greek mythology. Um, and I'm not going to say that the gods were portrayed accurately, but at least a lot of the way, like the gods' relationships, you know, um, Ares and Aphrodite, are literal opposite ends of the spectrum as to what they represent. So, like the way that they butt heads and everything. Although I think Ares might have married Aphrodite, maybe I'm not sure. Um,
I don't recall. Not my pantheon.
yeah, like it was just something I was always interested in. But yeah, that's and shows like that are a good gateway, which is why I think that's also why I enjoyed Stargate because that delved into the Egyptian pantheon. Um, and they even delved a little bit into the Norse because you might remember they had Thor, but Thor's was a little green man, and he used a hologram to appear as Thor, like as we know him with the helmet and Mjolnir and all that stuff. But they had a really good spin on the way that ancient peoples saw deities. I thought was interesting. Um, that's also the reason that I know who Christopher Judge is. But with us talking about all this, different TV shows, movies, and stuff like that, I guess this actually operates as a natural segue, which is a rare thing for me. But um, so apparently Netflix is not getting Warner Brothers anymore.
No.
Um, Paramount is. And Paramount got fucking fleeced on the price for this. Because I remember Netflix was going to purchase it. What was it, like 80 billion, something like that?
Like I think it was like 82 billion or something like that.
Yeah, so Paramount is getting it for like 110, I want to say, something like that. Like,
Yeah. 110, 112, somewhere in that figure.
but yeah, so apparently they're going to get, and I'm looking at the article here, so they already have Mission Impossible, they already have Top Gun, they already have fucking SpongeBob, which still surprising amount of people my age actually are still into it. I mean, hey, different strokes for different folks, whatever. Uh, but they're going to get the Harry Potter franchise. Fuck you, Rowling. They're going to get the DC franchise, Game of Thrones, which honestly, the way that because last so the wasn't a finale last week for Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah. Fucking 6 episode season. Fuckers.
Yeah, but it was good. I will give credit where credit was due. That was a good finale. Um, but it makes me wonder how Aegon is going to turn into such a piece of shit.
Yeah,
But
well, I'll be honest. I felt that finale was very predictable.
it was there were a lot of not red herrings because red herring is a fake out. There was a lot of fuck. What's the word I'm looking for? You could tell what was about to happen. Foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, there was a lot of foreshadowing. Like almost at the very beginning of the episode, he's talking to Duncan, Dunk, um, and he's talking to him about taking Aegon Egg with him, and Dunk originally refused, and he said, "I'm done with princes." Then he's like, "No, what? No, I'll take him, but only if he gets to come with me and we travel." Which, of course, his father said no. There was a lot of foreshadowing as to what was going to happen. Um, what was really cool and really interesting is how the older Targaryen, I don't remember his name, how the back of his head got fucking bashed in, and apparently his helmet was holding him together
Yep.
because as soon as they took the helmet off, he fucking drops. Oh, sorry guys, spoiler alert. um, that was a very interesting turn of events, but I'm interested to see how this is going to go for with Paramount and HBO. Um, I am finding the more and more that I look at Paramount, their platform, if I'm gonna start trimming things here pretty soon. Certain apps we have because of Spectrum, like Disney, like Paramount, Hulu, ESPN. So when we start trimming, Paramount is actually one that I feel like I have to keep because there's so much on the platform. Um,
Well, I'm keeping it because that's where Star Trek is housed.
and that's a big one, honestly. Um, Question: This is somewhat unrelated to anything. Is the Paramount app like kind of buggy for you when you use it? Because sometimes when I open it, I cannot fast forward and rewind, and I have to force close the app and reopen it.
I've not had that issue with Paramount. I had an issue with Prime the other day, similar. But I think it's also through the streaming box that I have because I use a Roku, and I think it was more the Roku being an issue than the app itself.
I've wondered because the Fire Stick that I'm using it on, it's actually a pretty new Fire Stick. I bought this like in the last 3 4 months, so it's not an outdated one. But I just have issues on that particular app. It it's more of an annoyance than anything because I force close it, I reopen, it works just fine. But it is really fucking annoying. Speaking of, because I was actually watching Discovery like almost right before I came out here. Um, this is weird. I've mentioned before that I love Michelle Yeoh as Giorgio.
Yeah.
I think she's entertaining in almost anything that I've seen her in. But as Giorgio, I cannot say this about any other character that she has ever played. As Giorgio, I want to fuck this woman. Like she just has that energy about her.
Sorry, Michelle.
Like don't get me wrong, like no, she is an attractive woman, but like something about her as Georgia, she just has like that energy about her. Some of it is because she has talked about sex and having sex with some of the other crewmates and stuff like that. That could be where some of it is coming from, but she just feels like one of those like it would be fun. Um,
So, so for me, the whole attraction to Michelle Yeoh began long before she was on Star Trek Discovery in Crouching when she was in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Um,
and that's fair.
yeah, and it wasn't like a physical attraction; it was even a mental attraction, just because the way she portrayed that character, the way that character held its own, and then with the interviews that I've seen of Michelle Yeoh and stuff like that, it's like this would be a woman that would just be cool to hang out with. Just like, sit down, maybe grab like, a glass of wine with and sit back and just, you know, talk about whatever. And it's she's just that humble, and she she gets just as excited, for things like, we do, like, it's like something like a new song would drop and she'd be like, "Oh my God, I can't wait to listen to this," type thing.
Yeah. It's just it was an interesting experience for me. And actually, I'm going to use an analogy here that I so on one other site, somebody made a comment like, "Oh, if I was a cereal, what would I be?" And of course, that's always it's engagement bait. But what I told her, and I feel like this is going to apply specifically to Philippa Giorgio, is I'm like, no, you're like Captain Crunch. I think you would hurt me a little bit, but it would be worth it.
So that's
Like
interesting you bring that up. We could actually turn this into a catastrophe. So if you were a cereal, what kind of cereal would you be?
me personally, for some reason, honeycomb was the first thing that came to mind. Probably because I ate a shit ton of it as a kid. um, I,
It's definitely because you're not sweet.
I I'm usually not, except for specific people. Which I mean, it's funny because I have had this. I've mentioned this before. when I tell people that I don't like people, I've had someone mention to me like, "Oh, you've always seemed nice to me." I'm like, "There's a reason. I like persons. I don't like people." So there's a very specific difference there. But if anything, I might go with like Frosted Flakes, and I say that because Frosted Flakes is not the most exciting, but it is consistent and it's reliable. So I'll go with that.
See, I'd say I'm grape nuts because I'm dry, very hard, and I'll bust out your teeth.
God, I'm glad I didn't spit that. If y'all are listening and not watching, no, I was taking a drink of water when he said that. So I am very glad I did not spit that because it would have went all over my laptop, and that would have been the end of this episode. uh, yeah. But I'm still gonna keep that, like, as far as like what would be fun with a partner. I'm gonna keep that answer though, like with Captain Crunch, because if you've ever eaten Captain Crunch, then you know what I mean. Those sharp corners can scratch the roof of your mouth a little bit.
See,
So it
see,
might,
I've always eaten the peanut butter crunch, not the original Captain Crunch.
the peanut butter crunch is good. But yeah, as far as like in a partner goes, like I said, it might hurt a little bit, but it'll be worth it because
All
I
right,
can
so
think of.
I hope Post Cereals actually gets this because I have a great idea for you. So I eat Captain Crunch peanut butter along with Cocoa Pebbles because it's phenomenal. So why is there no Cocoa Captain Crunch to go with the peanut butter crunch? And why is there no peanut butter pebbles? It seems like a fucking no-brainer. Come on, Post. We want the peanut butter pebbles and we want the boxes to collide together so we have peanut butter and chocolate pebbles.
They'd have to be really, really careful not to get sued by Reese's for that, though, for the marketing campaign.
The, it tastes. Have you ever had the Reese's peanut butter puff cereal? It
Yes, I
tastes
have.
like it tastes like unwashed ass.
It kind of depends. Like, I'm the type that I would regularly like reach in and just like grab a handful. Sometimes I know I need to stop doing that. I snack too much. It's not. It's actually not that bad. Dry. No. What was shit? What was absolute shit? Do you remember those Oreo O's?
Mm.
That was one of the biggest disappointments of my childhood. Um, if you've never had Oreo O's, then you're probably hearing me say this, and it sounds great, right? Like you're thinking of Oreo as a cereal. On paper, it sounds fantastic. It is not. That, oh God, that was just disappointment in a box. So,
It's the title of your sex tape.
um, yeah, well, I always say that I underpromise and sometimes I overdeliver. um, but yeah, that yeah, again, there wasn't a whole lot of actual news this week. I was looking for any other news stories. I think I need to mess with my algorithm a little bit more because, like, if I go to my smart news app, it shows me two things: is politics or wrestling. And I'm like, I click on other things. So I may have to drive it to show me other content. Um, Actually, you know what? It used to send me a lot of thirst trap articles. Like, oh, so and so had a scantily clad photo shoot. And of course, I'm going to click on it. So I may have to
Who
start doing
wouldn't?
that a little bit more often. Exactly. You know, like it basically like, oh, if it brought up Sydney Sweeney, click.
All right,
um,
before we wrap up, I just want to point out to everybody that the most recent episode of season 2 from Valmont the Black Raven Chronicles has dropped, and that is available on all your streaming platforms.
Yes, it is live today as of the first. Although obviously this is going to drop on the third on Tuesday. But yeah, you can go check it out. You can go if you look at the Patreon. We have a new short that's live, and I believe he just dropped new table reads here too, didn't he?
Yep.
So you can see all of that. And trust me, the table reads are usually a lot of fun. You will see us running our lines, but you will also see us poking at each other. It's especially funny when Toby is on. I love I love rage baiting that little fucker.
Son of a bitch.
Oh God, yes. I may have fucked up in making everyone aware of the soundboard. It's unfortunate we can only upload up to like 8 sounds. So, because I was going a little bit crazy with those, but it was fun. But yes, we have one of Toby. Yes, what he was saying, son of a bitch. I think the other ones are Adele, aren't they? It was like
Adele and Jackie.
we have Jackie doing the emote, damn it.
Well,
But I think,
Adele is the fuck me.
and I think also that I fucked up,
Yep.
or I don't know if we uploaded that one or not. Either way, it's funny. Um, I know in the last one, a couple of us were using the same sounds like at the same moment, and it's fucking hilarious. Y'all should definitely check out the Patreon. It's a lot of fun there. But yeah, I guess this was as good a time as any to go ahead and wrap it up since there's no other stories to talk about. So as always, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. Feel free to check out our other platforms, and we will see you next Tuesday.
Be you.